Well, doesn't look like the weather outside is going to be improving. Wind's not going to be dying down anytime soon. Probably blowing a gale out there. So I'm stuck in the house. Why not do a CD review? I think that's a good idea. Let's get on with it. So yeah, what up guys, Super Metal 993 here bringing us another CD review. So let's get straight on with this review. This is what I'm going to be reviewing for you today. Yep, this is the 2015 album from the band For My Valentine, entitled Venom. This is released under RCA Records. Now, For My Valentine, everyone has at least heard of them. They are, without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest, or one of the biggest, melodic metalcore bands going today. They've got quite a few die-hard fans around, and a total of 5 albums out so far. We have their, 5 albums in an EP. The first EP was their self-titled efforts, or as some people regard it as a mini-album. I think of it more as an EP. But that self-titled EP was absolutely fantastic. It really started my love for the band, that EP did. And then you've got The Poison, which is regarded as one of the greatest metalcore albums of all times, period. And quite rightly so, a lot of catch, a lot of intensity. It's fucking awesome. I absolutely love that album. In fact, so much so that I just recently picked it up at long last. But anyway, and then you got their second album, Screaming and Fire, which was the album that pretty much broke them into the big leagues and got them where they are today. That album I still really like, and I still blast every odd occasion. It's still a great album. And then third album, Fever, really good album, great follow up to Screaming and Fire, and echoes The Poison very well. And then you get to the the atrocity known as Temper. What a pile of shitter. That's all I can really say. Absolutely atrocious album. Could have been so much better. I mean, what were you thinking? Seriously. Anyway, but then we'll get to 2015 with the arrival of Venom. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, like a few For My Valentine fans, I was kind of skeptical about listening to this album because with Temper being such an atrocity, I was very worried that they were going to go for Temper Part 2 and thought, that is our best effort. We've got to continue that along that road. No. I was wrong. And I only came about this because loads of people were bragging about the fact of, like, this is old school Bullet. This is back to the old days. And I was like, this could be something interesting. So I decided to find the album on YouTube, and I listened to the full album, and I was like, shit, it is back to the old school Bullet. If you do like the old school Bullet, whether it's Fever, Screaming Fire, The Poison, or even self-titled, you will find something to really like about this album. In my opinion, it's definitely a step forward, or back to go forward, if that makes sense, for Bullet. I mean, I think Fever was alright, but it didn't do them any favours. It was basically, here's a new album, the style voila. Screaming Fire, that was more the catchier kind of vibes, like the sing-alongs and memorable lyrics from obviously Screaming Fire and Waking the Demon, and The Poison, obviously the staple where it all started. But if I was to connect Venom to any of the albums, I would definitely think it's a collaboration of those 3 iconic albums, because you've got the thrashier, intense, aggressive vibes from The Poison. You've got the catchy sing-along melodies and vibes that you get from Screaming and Fire, but you also get the song and production style of Fever. Now, Fever hasn't got an awful lot going for it, but it definitely has the production in mind. And all that in one blender is what you get with Venom. I mean, as soon as No Way Out kicks in, that's the second track behind the intro, which comes in very eerie and very ambient, and you're just like, it's building, and you're just like, ooh, something's gonna happen. And then No Way Out kicks in, and you're just like, instantly know, Old School Bullet, and you're just like, yes, they're back. And that's the kind of vibe that I love from this album. It's from start to finish, it's just non-stop full-on attack of melodic metalcore. Exactly what the Poison did back in the day for people, and it still does to people today. And I do feel that in time, Venom could be an album that people would look back on and go, Bullet made the right decision to go back on that. And in my opinion, listening to this album, it definitely has a memorableness to it. Like, the drums are very punchy, very well productionized, if that's even a word, but really well mixed, very well played. A lot of thrashier vibes, like as I said, from the older days is on this album. A lot of catchy hooks and very interesting, like, fills here and there. Very interesting, like, some of the stuff that you wouldn't particularly hear on older Bullet For My Valentine. It's kind of like a new freshness in the drum fills there, but the grooves are there, the thrashy that everyone knows Bullet for, and then the ease down breakdowns are just awesome, pretty awesome. The bass tone is the type of bass tone that I like, very rumbly, not very clicky, and you know, like you can hear clicking from like finger or pick scratching or anything like that. I hate that kind of tone personally, but yeah, this tone is absolutely awesome. It really fits well with the mix and makes the record that much heavier. And that's what a good bass tone is meant to do, especially in metal, is meant to make it heavy as fucking balls. Dig it. Guitar-wise, you're kind of looking like the old school style of melodic metalcore, in vein of like All That Remains, Killswitch Engage, Old School Bullet, and maybe even some melodic thrash vibes like Trivium's older stuff. It's definitely a big step up from Fever, and definitely a big step up from Screaming and Fire. Like Screaming and Fire had the thrash vibes, but this definitely has more of a like enjoyability to it. It just makes you want to listen to it over and over again. And I've listened to this album about 12 times now. Not just to do this review, but just 12 times in general, because I absolutely love this album. And I think one of the other things that I love about this album more than anything is Matt's voice on this. I don't know why, it just has clicked instantly with us. It took us a while to get into the Bullet For My Valentine sound back in the day when I first heard Screaming and Fire and Waking the Demon. It took us a while to get it, but when I finally clicked with it and I heard this album, I knew instantly that Matt Tuck has an incredible voice. When he's clean singing, he has a great range to it, and he has a kind of original tone to him. There's not a lot of people who have that Matt Tuck voice or style of vocal. And then when it comes to his screams, they're a lot more cleaner than they have been on Screaming Fire and Fever. And they have that kind of raspy vibe as well, which it's hard to collaborate with a clean set, like a beautiful set of clean vocals, but then have a harsh aggressiveness. And like, it's one thing that Matt Heafy from Trivium had difficulty feeling emotion from the vocals, and I can feel a lot of emotion from the screams and the cleans on this record, and the lyrics are great as well. Every song has a really catchy line, especially the song You Want a Battle, Here's a War. Now that song has definitely become an anthem in the Bullet For My Valentine set. It sticks in your head. when I first heard that, and the first chorus kicks in on that song, by the second chorus, you know it straight away, and it sticks in your head, and you want to listen to it over and over again, and it's indeed what I've done. There's a lot of other great tracks on this album. As I said, No Way Out, Army of Noise, You Want a Battle, Here's a War, Broken, Venom. Now this is the song that I think personally is a bit of a tongue twister. The harder the heart, the harder it breaks. Oh, I actually got it first time. Previous reviews have been, well, the past couple of takes I've tried to do this, I took about 3 times at it. Hell or High Water, I think that was, sorry, is that? Yeah, Hell or High Water. Pariah, now that is a great conclusion to this album. I really do like that track. It definitely has a bit more of a catchier vibe and a great conclusion. But after that, you are still wanting more, and if you buy the deluxe edition, what I've got, you get 4 more bonus tracks, including the sophomore song, which is In Loving Memory, which is like a demo version. And I think because it's a demo version, it adds a bit more character to it, and I definitely feel a strong connection to that track in some ways. It kind of feels like it was meant to be a demo version. It wasn't meant to have that super clean production that the rest of the album has. I think the demo version of that track definitely owns it, if you ask me. But yeah, all those tracks out. Definitely pick up the deluxe edition if you get the chance. It's got this kind of 3D cover thing, which I was going to put on the front, but yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to show up on cam properly, but whatever. But yeah, it is actually a really good album, and definitely I'd say it's my second favourite For My Valentine album behind The Poison, but definitely something I'm going to be listening to for quite some time now, and definitely something you should check out if you think like me. Temper was appalling, Fever was okay, Screaming Fire was yeah, it was good when it first came out, but you love The Poison, then if you have that same vibe, check this out. But definitely check it out if you're into melodic metalcore like I am. Definitely check it out. It's definitely a sense of freshness to it. For an overall score on this album, I'm definitely going to give it a strong 8 out of 10. A very strong 8 out of 10, and definitely something that it could crawl up even to a 9 at some point, but I'm going to definitely stick with a solid 8 out of 10. It's a really good album, and definitely something I'm going to listen to for the future to come. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this review. I have no idea what my next review is going to be. I'm thinking I might review, I haven't decided yet if I can find it. Here it is. I might review the new Disturbed album, Immortalized. I haven't decided because I've got a lot to review, but we'll see what happens. And I've also got Updates and Purchase number 26, part 3 coming, which I haven't started recording yet, but it will take some time for that one. But when I get some free time to do it, I will do it. But I also need to do another Updates and Purchases before Christmas, so I've got a lot of videos coming, and a new video coming soon after this one. So I'll see you until the next video, and remember, stay metal, and I'll see you next video.